things right.
Hello, everyone, and this is your always tactful host, Pendy.
And this is Paul, also known as Eastx Twitch.
Another successful creation.
Dare I ask what laws of nature you're breaking over there?
Oh, it's fine. Just fine. I built my own synthesis workshop inspired by Dragon Quest Monsters Joker.
That's used for making monsters. You aren't making monsters over there, are you? You're monstrous enough as it is.
You would be surprised what you can come up with. And the Tact Synthesis Workshop, it usually makes some amount of sense when you combine different things together. So like, for example, a dancing flame and a frost burn make a green glow, or a cactoball, or an aubergine combined to make an acorn baby. But then I noticed a weird one. A dragon slime and a restless armor somehow make a slime stack.
That is a weird combination. I wonder how they fit together. Which one's the pitcher and which one's the catcher?
Oof. You know what? I don't want to know. Anyway, the weird combination required for a slime stack inspired me. What other strange pairings could go together that we could make something good?
Combine Eastx and Pendy to make a podcast?
You joker. Very funny. I discovered that synthesizing a copy of the movie Office Space and a Michael Bolton album gets you a user-friendly working office printer.
That sounds highly improbable.
Synthesize Sonic the Hedgehog with a Dragon Quest Blue slime, and you get a Detective Pikachu voiced by Danny DeVito.
Missed opportunity if there ever was one.
Synthesize Star Trek and Star Wars, and somehow you get Frasier.
Why do I suddenly feel like I have scrambled eggs all over my face?
That's okay. That's normal. Now watch this. I'm going to synthesize the Big Dracky Squad and Arena Watch guilds together with just a tiny pinch of dark matter.
Dark matter? No, you fool. You can't mix those goon squads together with dark matter.
Oh, it'll be fine. Watch this.
Now you've done it. You've created a singularity. We'll all be destroyed. The very fabric of space-time is breaking down.
Maybe if we add some gems.
Wow, that was close. As with anything in Tact, just throw more gems at it and everything will be fine.
I really need to rethink some of my recipes.
You do that. While Pendy ponders another recipe that will certainly lead to our impending doom, I'll go ahead and welcome our audience to Tactfully Dai, a Slime Time podcast spin-off that covers just about everything in the world of Dragon Quest, the Adventure of Dai, and the Dragon Quest Tact mobile game.
That's right. We'll talk about the latest and greatest with Dragon Quest Tact first.
Good. I'd love to synthesize some tact.
So we are in the middle of the Dragon Quest Monsters Joker event.
Indeed we are. Did you ever play that series?
Sadly, no. Never really got too much into the Monsters games. It's interesting to see all these incarnate monsters that I've never seen before, though.
Yes. Have you gotten many of them?
No, not really. Honestly, I'm going to lay low for a while. I want to wait until Dragon Quest IV and another special event gets here that we'll mention later. I did do the free ticket pulls, the paid pull, and a few regular gem pulls, though. Oh, and the only reason I did the 2 regular gem pulls because on this stamp card, there was a guaranteed S on the second try. So I ended up with 2 monkeys and a Digimon.
A what and a what now? I think you mean 2 Klaboons and a Daimagon.
Oh, yeah. Those 2. Those, there were 4 possible ace-type incarnate monsters you could get on one banner. And unfortunately, I pulled the worst 2 of the 4. The Doggo and the Burb would have been really nice, but I'm not chasing those, especially since I struck out with the pulls that I did try.
You mean the Wulfspade Ace and Hawkheart. Well, I got all 4 of them, somehow, using the paid pull, 2 gem pulls like you, and some free pulls.
Nice.
However, I didn't get any duplicates, so they're not exactly large and in charge. What about Dr. Snapped, which I did not get, or the Joker in the upcoming Part 3 of this event?
I'm good. I'm just happy for now to build up the free units Ace of Spades and especially the normal Wulfspade. They even gave him the character builder option, just like Erdrick has. And I can see why he's the top-rated A unit in the game. And with the character builder option, I chose to do the more physical path. I gave him abilities like healing to 100% when somebody attacks him gets him below 20% HP, and his attack that can paralyze enemies. I mean, I'll take that kind of attack all day long. What path did you choose for your Wulfspade?
I haven't chosen any path. I saw the choice and the scarcity of resources, and I just froze up.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I need to hit Reddit and see if there's any good advice. But your choices sound pretty smart.
I also love the Ace of Spades Battle Road story. The Kaleido Cat and Ace of Spades dynamic is wonderful. And I love how the cat's character progresses throughout the stages. And it's so sad in the end, too. Oh my God. It's one of my favorite mini stories to come out of Tact so far.
Yes, it is a good story. I probably like some of the funny ones better, but that one's certainly up there.
So I am dying to talk about what was revealed in Japan recently, but let's talk some arena first. Since our last episode, I got another first place in single arena, which was great, but then I decided on a different tact going forward.
How's that?
So the moment I lose points in a match and can't get a gold trophy anymore, I switch from taking on the easiest team I can find to taking on the most difficult. The arena medals don't really get me much of anything anymore, so now I use it as practice for guild tournaments. It's mostly going to be different team setups than what you'll find in guild tourneys because they're very defense-based, but it'll still be good practice to sharpen my skills nonetheless. It made quite the difference. I had, overall in these single arena tournaments, I had a week where I started late and had tough opponents and lost a character in my first fight, my first day. So from there, I just did nothing but the hardest fights I could find. I ended up losing 2 fights, and I only finished up at rank master 2 instead of my usual finish of 1. But I would even dip down into the second lower point tier because sometimes the hardest battle would end up there sometimes. So it's all good though. It's great practice.
I wondered why you've been rank 1 million lately. Well, it sounds like you found a clever way to turn your frowns upside down.
Mm-hmm.
I had a close week 2 weeks ago, though I still lost a unit from a fight, but so far so good this week.
Nice. Getting back to the guild tournaments, we just finished the most recent one over the weekend. We won 3 of the 4 qualifier matches and competed in the Platinum Cup.
Yeah, it was very close in the qualifiers. We all tried our best, but that TWR team was tough. They've really wailed out since the last time we faced them. And for last month, they also ended up right above us in second place for the Global Guild Contribution Points ranking.
Yeah, that was nice because we rallied and we ended up staying in third place for the contribution points ranking. The Starfell, the team that's like one of the top 2 teams in the game period that pretty much crushed us when we played them in the tournaments. They took our place right near the end, but then we rallied with some stamina and we ended up taking third place in the end. It was great.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. So it doesn't really mean anything, but it was fun. We sent a statement, damn it.
Yes, and it means we're cooler than them.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it works. But I don't know what happened, but when going back to the guild tournament, but in the Platinum Cup itself, where we were competing last tournament, it was an absolute joke. The 3 teams we faced were barely there. One team, appropriately named Satan's Bunghole, only had 14 of 20 possible people participating in it. With the last team we faced, I think only 4 or 5 of them even bothered to do an attack.
Yes. That was a relaxing wrap-up to the tournament. Our guild usually does coaching for tournament matches, but we winged it during those 3 days and did just fine.
Oh, yeah. And, I was happy with my defense team for this round. Mine consisted of a 5-heart Pizarro, 5-heart Diamond Slime, 5-heart Omega Weapon, 3-heart Forest Dragon, and 5-heart Leary Lout. A great triple coverage defense team that racked up 2 wins in the qualifier rounds, but then wasn't really needed at all in the Platinum Cup because of who we faced. But oh well.
That's a lot of hearts. My defense team consisted of Maxed Omega, 4-heart Godamir, 3-heart Bahamut, and Maxed Rose Guardian and Stump Chump. Not as scary a team as yours, but the attackers probably lost some points to them at least. How are you doing in real-time matchmaking?
So I haven't had too much time to play it so far, but I am sitting at Master 3 in 535th place. I started using my 5-heart Fully Blossom Orgodemir, and wow, is he amazing! The ability to confuse, charm, and counterattack with his attack that heals himself to a very noticeable degree. He even has the ability to auto-heal when you get him down below 20% HP and survive any killing blow once in a battle. And I also noticed that we were both ranking buddies there for a moment, where I was at 549 and you were at 551. So how is your RTM gone?
Why, yes, I'm floating around in the Masters too. Finding the time for matches has been the hardest thing.
Mm-hmm.
I still get stomped by maxed out teams now and then, but I've also beaten some nearly maxed teams that I thought I couldn't handle. Go East X. Well, that covers all our recent arena shenanigans. You seem like you're strashing about for some reason. What's that all about?
I'll pop this question to you. What event did some people think would die and go away, never to return?
HBO's Velma?
Well, yes, but no. So for some reason, that has a season 2 approved. Apparently, people just overwhelmingly hate watched it, and it got a new season. But back on track.
I dare to be different because I actually like that show.
Oh, no.
Haha. Anyway, we're going to be getting another round of a Tact and Dai crossover in the future. That's right, Dai is coming back to Tact. At first, only the blossoming for the old Dai characters was revealed.
Yeah, and we thought that's all there was going to be, but a few days later, they announced the full event. We'll be getting characters like Mistfern, the evolved form of Hadlar, Sorcerer Pop, Dark Armor Spear Hyunkel,
Demon King Vern, Zapoera, your favorite name to spell, Dragon Knight Dai with his own advanced character builder,
and my personal favorite, Martial Artist Man. I am so excited for this event. I just knew the developers were going to do more and take advantage of all the other characters and the advanced forms of existing characters that there are in Dai. It's so cool. This is the other event I'll go head first into. All of my gems will belong to them. Just call me the Dragon Knight Whale.
So I shall. The Dai event is a long way off for global players like us, but the new Dragon Quest IV event isn't too far away. A new feature of that event that we didn't mention last time is the mega boss battle that will feature guild co-op.
Yes! We don't have all the details quite yet, but apparently there will be a Pizarro mega boss battle, and your guild can work together to take him down. I really love the concept. I'm sure our Aces guild will come through on that one. I look forward to it.
As do I. I'm all about the co-op. I bet there'll be some sort of ranking in which we compete with other guilds, such as those suckers in Big Draki Squad, to see how well we do against them.
You know, that's a good point. And you know what? Look out, Big Dookie Squad and Arena Weenies. We'll take you down in this potential competition. I guarantee it. I'm putting down the challenge right now. If we don't beat both of you in the Mega Boss Battle rankings, I will shave my head.
Whoa there, co-host buddy. You do realize one of those guilds is really good, right? They consistently place higher than us in guild tournaments.
Can't go back on it now. I am tactfully serious.
Well, that doesn't make any sense, but okay. You heard it here, Tactfully Dai, kids. Pendy will shave his head bald if Aces 1 does not rank higher than Big Draki Squad, bleh, and Arena Watch, bleh, in the Pizarro Mega Battle Guild Co-op Battle.
You'll have to keep listening to the show to find out the results.
Now then, before we get into the Dai portion of the show, it's time to put aside Pendy's impending baldness for the Tact Tip of the Day.
Tip of the Day.
Did you know that the Allies Almanac in the party menu has a wealth of information about all the characters you can get in Tact?
That's right, Tacticians. You can see all the characters you have and even the characters you don't have. For any character, you can see all their stats, perks, abilities, and resistances.
You can even see the exact stages that have farmable monsters.
That's amazing. And that was our Tact Tip of the Day. Tip of the Day. Now let's get into some Dai.
Every week, we're going to review 2 episodes from the newest Dragon Quest, The Adventure of Dai anime.
We will also cover items such as the upcoming Dai console game and merchandise news as we find it as well.
Sadly, only Baldy plays the mobile game, and that will be closing in a few months.
First up, we have episode 27, Land Rider Lahart. In this episode, Pop and Hyunkel square off against Buran's Dragon Riders. Who will come out on top?
In the previous episode, Hyunkel had saved Pop from getting his head cut off.
Pop quickly catches Hyunkel up on what has happened to their mutual friend Dai.
Hyunkel then boldly instructs Pop to finish the fight with Galdandi.
Galdandi initially thinks he has the upper hand, but it turns out that Hyunkel's attack in the last episode has almost entirely severed his wing.
Ouch. This leaves Galdandi open for Pop's attack. Our hero levi-zooms into the enemy's face and finishes him off with a bang spell.
To the face!
Yes, right to the face.
Borahorn, the walrus-like Tuskateer, then starts to threaten Hyunkel, but as he is threatening him, Hyunkel makes a quick slash, severing both of Borahorn's tusks.
Ouch. Probably not the dental procedure he would have wished for.
Borahorn tries to take a swipe at Hyunkel, but Hyunkel effortlessly blocks the attack, much to Borahorn's dismay.
After Hyunkel kicks him away, Borahorn then counters with his glacial breath.
Yeah, he's got quite the pair of lungs that just keeps going and going and...
Finally, Borahorn wings his chain sickle at Hyunkel, expecting to shatter a frozen human body. Instead, he strikes...
Hyunkel, completely unscathed, now wearing his special armor.
Bad boy Hyunkel catches Borhorn's sickle and easily snaps the chain.
And then Hyunkel charges forward for the patented Dai uppercut. Like I've pointed out before, this series loves a good old-fashioned uppercut.
Don't we all? To cap the fight off, Hyunkel breaks out his bloody Scryed attack and delivers a shot straight through the Tusketeer's chest.
He died. He gone.
He is surely no more.
In the ensuing conversation between Hyunkel and Larhart, the only remaining member of Baran's Dragon Riders, we learned that Hyunkel's armor and Larhart's spear were both crafted by Lon Barrick, the greatest craftsman from the underworld.
I wonder if we'll ever meet that guy. It turns out that both weapons can expand to simultaneously function as both weapon and armor.
Larhart utilizes the Dark Armor Spear and seems to be too quick for Hyunkel. Has he met his match?
After nearly missing his first attack to the face, Hyunkel tries to counter, but none of his attacks can even come close to Larhart, not even his super quick Avon-style Wave Slash.
Larhart launches a series of lightning-quick stabs that start to break away Hyunkel's armor.
That part's difficult to watch. All seems lost when one of Larhart's attacks hits Hyunkel dead center, slamming the hero into a cliff wall.
Hyunkel decides to draw on Larhart's next attack so that he can counter with a bloody Scryed.
But Larhart sees through this ruse and flings his gauntlet at Hyunkel instead. This causes Hyunkel to miss with his counter.
Larhart then unleashes his Thunderclaw energy wave attack and gets a direct hit on Hyunkel.
Oh, the episode ends by cutting to the rest of the party at the castle with Dai.
Dai's Dragon Knight symbol begins to glow as Baran has drawn very close to them.
We see Baran ominously walking towards the castle as the episode closes.
Yep, not a bad episode. A little redemption for Pop, and seeing Hyunkel being a badass until he wasn't. Yes. Also, another classic Dai-style uppercut to add to the counter. What do you think?
Well, this wouldn't be a very satisfying episode to watch on its own, but as long as you watch the one right after it, you're good. Because, yeah, it's quite a cliffhanger seeing Hyunkel in that bad situation.
Mm-hmm.
But I do love how the first two of the three Dragon Riders got their butts handed to them. That was satisfying to watch.
Yeah, that was great.
Next, we have episode 28, Dai's Secret, in which Baran approaches Terran Castle, Leona gives Dai his knife, and Larhart reveals the secrets of Baran's past.
This episode starts with Merla realizing that Baran is very close to their location at Terran Castle.
It's a bad situation since the group is split apart, and Dai is still stuck in a childish, cowardly state. Leona and Crocodine, both natural leaders, discuss their defenses.
Crocodine wants to go out alone, but Leona convinces him that she must go too for support.
Before they head off, Leona attaches Dai's Papnika knife to his belt for his own protection.
Dai objects, still scared of weapons and pretty much everything else.
Yep, he sucks at this point.
Yeah.
But Leona gives Restoring Dai one last go and gives him a big old kiss.
Go Dai! However, Dai seems happy that Baran is coming, and Leona tries to remind him that Baran is actually the enemy.
Dai is still confused and lost, but the interaction gives him a sliver of his memory back. A memory of the first time he received the Papnika knife from Leona.
He doesn't remember it quite, exactly, but he does realize that he received the knife before, kind of almost like a deja vu, like this has happened before.
It's a start.
True. We then transition back to Hyunkel, who is not in good shape.
Larhart appears to be in a rush, saying he should hurry and regroup with Baran.
But then he remembers he's in a shonen story and must explain the backstory of Baran for the audience.
It's true. Sarcasm aside, Larhart reveals some good info. Dai's mother was a human woman.
Larhart starts by sharing that when a Dragon Knight is at their life's end, the Mother Dragon descends, and the Dragon Crest is passed on to the new life that the Mother Dragon has inside of her.
Dragon babies.
Mm-hmm.
The new knight is born in a distant land, becoming the new Dragon Knight. Normally, there's only one Dragon Knight at a time.
Normally, yes. But 15 years ago, as Avon was battling Hadlar's army, Baran was in the underworld battling an even greater threat.
He was battling Velzar, king of the abyss in the underworld, an intelligent dragon that wanted to rule the above world.
Baran was mortally wounded in the fight and made his way to the Fountain of Miracles that can heal Dragon Knights.
Yeah, and Big Boy Baran almost didn't make it, but Lady Sola was there to save him before he died just short of the fountain. That would have sucked.
Yeah. And from that moment, they started to form a bond and eventually fell in love.
How lovely. Sola was the princess of the Alkid kingdom.
Certain vassals of that kingdom were upset that the princess was together with a stranger who didn't come from the kingdom of Alkid.
They didn't want this stranger ascending to the throne in the future.
These troublemakers didn't know that Baran was a Dragon Knight, but they did know that he wasn't human.
He looks human enough, but the bad vassals convinced the king to exile Baran from the kingdom.
Yeah, they convinced him that he was most likely some kind of underworld fiend, and they were all paranoid, especially since Hadlar had just almost taken over the world recently.
There was that.
But, as Baran is leaving, Sola tells him that she is with child.
I wonder how that happened.
Probably just dragon stuff.
Yeah, probably dragon stuff. Anyway, Sola joins Baran in exile, and they start living a quiet life in Terran Kingdom.
Yes, and they decide to name their newborn son, whom we now know as Dai, Dino, which means strong dragon in the Alkid language.
That's right, strong dragon, not purple dinosaur. Unfortunately, Alkid eventually hunts down the little family and surrounds them with a massive unit of soldiers.
Baran doesn't want to kill any humans, so he surrenders under the promise that Sola and Dino will not be harmed.
The king agrees, but insists that Dino/Dai be sent to a foreign land, maybe even a remote island.
Baran is sentenced to execution for kidnapping the princess.
It appears to be execution by Kafriz spells, we're assuming. They don't say the exact spell name.
I don't think I've ever seen an execution by spell before.
That's because you've closed your eyes to adventure.
Oh.
Anyway, just before Baran can be executed, Sola throws herself in front of him, dying as a result.
Sola tells Baran not to hate all humans, that they just did all of this out of fear.
It doesn't matter, though. This puts Baran in a mighty rage, so he annihilates the entire kingdom.
He flies off with Sola's body, professing his newfound hatred for all humans.
Darn it. Baran then tries to find his son, Dino, Dai, but to no avail because the child's ship was wrecked in a sea storm.
And that's how we see that Dai floats to Durnline Island on a piece of shipwreckage, where Grandpa Brass finds him.
Now you know the rest of the story.
Okay, Paul Harvey.
So during Baran's despair, Dark King Vern approaches and offers a chance to wipe out all of the humans, and Baran eagerly accepts.
Cutting back to the present, Hyunkel is able to relate to Baran's backstory because Hyunkel also hated the human world before his friends set him straight.
He now wants to convince Baran of the same.
Larhart is upset by Hyunkel thinking that he could somehow ease Baran's pain, so the bad guy makes an attack straight for Hyunkel's heart. Jealous much?
Hyunkel is able to dodge, now able to see through Larhart's attacks.
Hyunkel confesses that he wasn't going all out before because he was trying to save himself for the confrontation with Baran. How convenient.
Yes, how convenient. He was keeping a distance and not trying to get hit too badly, but now he just doesn't care.
At first, Hyunkel's able to either dodge or parry Larhart's attacks from this point.
But then Larhart gets a good slice to Hyunkel's chest and begins to attack mercilessly.
Poor Hyunkel is thrown backwards to the ground.
Larhart tries to land another Sunderclaw, but Hyunkel counters with his life aura draining Grand Cross super attack.
Hyunkel performs the move with an assist from his insignia of Avon. He explains how it's a symbol of the bonds of the disciples of Avon.
Wait, a bond between heroes? Where have I heard that before?
Who can say? As Hyunkel starts to get up, he barely dodges a surprise attack from the not quite as dead as we thought Borahorn.
He not dead. He not gone.
Hyunkel nearly strikes back, but then Borahorn reveals that he's taken Pop as a hostage.
Oh no!
Oh yeah. Well, maybe. That's where the episode ends. So I thought this episode was pretty important from a flashback standpoint. When it returns to the present, Hyunkel's newfound advantage against Larhart is quite contrived. Typical shonen stuff.
I wasn't really trying.
Sure. He was just holding back when he almost died before. What are your thoughts?
So I really loved this episode. It was a great mixture of Baran's very interesting backstory and a terrific battle between Hyunkel and Larhart. It's very good animation, especially when they're duking it out in close quarters. And I even felt sorry for Baran and his misfortune. It's nice when the villain has some sort of backstory that explains the way that they are, that they're not just two-dimensional, like, oh, I must do the bad thing. Like they have something behind why they are doing what they're doing.
Indeed. Also, it's really cool that because Alkid Kingdom messed with his woman, he just destroyed the whole thing. Now there is no Alkid Kingdom. They just did not know who they were messing with.
No, they did not, because it was like an island nation, and he just like poof, and the whole thing just gone.
Exactly. They're not on maps anymore.
Before we go, as I stated in the last episode, I decided to pick up and play the Dai mobile game, A Hero's Bond, before it shuts down completely in a few months.
Now that you've played more of the mobile game, how are you liking it?
It's been good. It's still not my favorite gameplay, but as I've said before, seeing this original story that it has been pretty cool. In the alternate dimension of the original story, mortal enemies of Dai, such as Hadlar and even Flazard, have to work together against this new evil force.
Ooh, that's going to make for some awkward interactions.
And it does, and it's very entertaining. The base team that I fight with right now is a advanced version of Leona. I got Crocodile and Martial Arts Ma'am to go along with my custom hero that I created.
Quite a lineup. Any problems with the weapons gotcha that you don't like so much?
Actually, no. Because of the impending shutdown, we get 3,000 free gems a day, which is like a full pull on the weapons gotcha. So I've slowly gotten some really badass equipment and super moves from it. Coincidentally, my custom hero recently got Hyunkel's Grand Cross move that we just discussed in one of the previous episodes. It's adorable to hear her say, Grand Cross in a female Japanese voice. Is great.
That's good, at least. I wish I had more free time so I could check it out, too.
Yeah, and it's a shame that a hero's bond is shutting down, but at least the story that they do have will have a final ending chapter to it, and it'll get closed out. Maybe a little bit rushed, but still, they do plan to end the story and have some sort of conclusion to it.
Speaking of endings, that's all for this episode of Slime Time Tactfully Dai. If you want to prepare for the next episode, be sure to watch episodes 29 and 30 of The Adventure of Dai on Crunchyroll or other video services.
We don't use Patreon. If you do have any money that is just completely strashing in your wallet, pouch, bottomless bag, treasure chest, pot, barrel, safe, or even searchable wall sack, and you would like to donate anything to a website that's been supporting Dragon Quest fans for over 20 years, stop by the Dragon's Den at woodus.com/den and click on Support This Site. Woodus has owned and maintained the Dragon's Den Dragon Quest fan site for decades. He personally edits every YouTube version of our podcast, and he fully appreciates any donations to help keep the servers running.
The Dragon's Den website also features an Amazon affiliate link. If you click the link and then make a purchase, a small fraction of the sale will go to support the Den. It doesn't cost you anything, and you might help keep us from shutting down someday as well.
We even have a Slime Time t-shirt you can buy by our resident artist Dwayne. See the link for it in the show notes. And as part of the Slime Time Extended Universe, or STU, you can direct comments or questions for the podcast on Twitter and Instagram at DQ Slime Time.
And you can follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/EastXTwitch. Come watch me play a variety of games every Saturday, kids. Getting back to Dragon Quest, consider joining in tons of Dragon Quest discussions at the Dragon's Den forums, the only forums that never hold their strength back no matter what's coming. Find it from the Dragon's Den main page or at woodus.com/forums. You can also find us and other rabid Dragon Quest fans through the Dragon Questers, Dragon Quest Tact Global, and Infinity Strash Facebook groups. We'd love to see you there.
Or come hang out with us and tons of other hardcore Dragon Quest fans on the officially unofficial Dragon's Den Discord server.
We'd like to thank everyone that made this podcast possible, including Pendy, Woodus, the Dragon's Den, and Baran's wife, Sola. She was good people.
And a special thanks to Platty for helping me out with our rotating podcast logo.
Spin that logo. Please like, subscribe, and write a review for the podcast. A good one.
For more Dragon Quest Slime Time, check out our library of episodes on Dragon's Den, Anchor.fm, Apple Podcasts, Audible, YouTube, and more.
We'll catch you later, everybody. Don't hate, appreciate.
Time to zoom on out of here.
Lately days are getting dark before you've had a chance, but remind yourself the truth can be a never-ending task. Even now, with what we've got, how far can we go until it's gone? Sometimes I swear I hear a voice, look, no one's in the other room. All alone I thought I had an angel, someone keeping an eye on me. Even love will turn to dust. I can't help but be proud of how far we've come. But I don't plan on backing down or letting my guard down, 'cause I knew a test would someday come my way. So I made a promise to remember every little thing, to every piece of my heart, keeping the fire burning, letting in the light to see what's waiting for me on the other side of this world. I wanna change, so reach out and find the path that no one else can. Tell us what's to come.
This is Gertrude for Slime Time, reminding you all that you must complete your adventure.